Sean Diddy Combs is on trial in NYC. Daily updates from inside the courtroom. May 15th. The defense began cross-examining Cassie on her third straight day of testimony, asking her questions about her relationship with Diddy as well as their drug use. Attorney Ana Estival's line of questioning seemingly attempted to support the defense's claims that Diddy's alleged freak-offs were part of his swinger lifestyle. Estival also asked Cassie about texts she sent Diddy where she expressed her love for him, as well as an apparent enjoyment of freak-offs. Asked about a message where she said she liked the parties, Cassie replied, "I would say that loving freak-offs were just words at that point." Later on in the day, Cassie mentioned her relationship with Cudi, as well as a period when she took a break from Diddy in 2015 and began dating Michael B. Jordan. She went on to confirm that she continued to participate in freak-offs with Diddy while dating Cudi, saying it was a job. After prompting from Estival, Cassie also refuted an online rumor that the baby oil used in the freak-offs was laced with date rape drugs. May 16th. After Cassie finished her testimony, the prosecution called two additional witnesses to the stand. The first, Department of Homeland Security Special Agent Yassine Binda, was one of the officers who participated in a raid on Diddy's hotel room at the Park Hyatt in Manhattan ahead of his September 2024 arrest. Binda said agents found 5 bottles of baby oil in the bathroom, as well as lubricant stored in the bathtub, plus 2 bottles of lubricant in the nightstand. They also found a Louis Vuitton bag containing ketamine, MDMA, and a bottle of medication prescribed to Frank Black. With less than half an hour left before court was set to adjourn for the day, former Danity Kane member Dawn Richard took the stand and testified about an alleged 2009 incident where she witnessed Diddy assault Cassie at his Los Angeles home. She said, "He came downstairs angry and was saying where the F was his eggs, and he was telling Cassie she never gets anything right and where the F was his food. And he came over to the skillet with the eggs in it and tried to hit her over the head, and she fell to the ground." Following Richard's testimony, the defense asked the judge to strike her statements from the record, arguing that it does not support the charge of sex trafficking and was also not mentioned by Cassie herself. The prosecution, meanwhile, argued that Diddy's alleged abuse created a culture that allowed him to carry out more serious crimes. Subscribe to our newsletter for more updates. May 19th. Richard continued her testimony with further details about the skillet incident, which the judge tentatively ruled was permissible. She claimed she frequently saw Diddy physically abuse Cassie, including on one occasion in 2010 where other celebrities were present and did not intervene. Following Richard's testimony, Cassie's former friend Carrie Morgan was called to the stand. Cassie previously mentioned Morgan in her own testimony, revealing that the two stopped speaking after Diddy allegedly hit Morgan with a wooden hanger in 2018. Morgan claimed that Diddy hit her after flying into a rage over Cassie dating another man, alleging that he hit her so hard she vomited and had a concussion. After the incident, Diddy and Cassie allegedly offered Morgan $30,000 to sign a non-disclosure agreement. She agreed and said she never spoke with Cassie again. The final witness of the day was David James, who worked as a personal assistant for Diddy from May 2007 to May 2009. James described an alleged interaction he had with a human resources rep when interviewing at Bad Boy, claiming the woman pointed at a photo of Diddy on the wall and said, "This is Mr. Combs' kingdom. We're all here to serve in it." James testified that he worked 6 to 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. for a salary of $70,000 per year plus overtime. May 20th.
The day began with additional testimony from James, who claimed his former boss traveled with a medicine bag that contained around $10,000 in cash and at least 30 different pill bottles, including Viagra, Advil, and ecstasy pills shaped like former President Barack Obama. James alleged that sometimes Diddy would have medication prescribed under James's name without asking permission. He also claimed it was part of the job to deliver drugs to Diddy and his friends. James further alleged he would prep Diddy's hotel rooms, purchasing supplies like medicine, snacks, and baby oil. For the former items, he would go through a typical company reimbursement process, but for things like baby oil and lubricant, he would allegedly be paid in cash by Diddy's security staff.
At one New Year's Eve party, James participated in the festivities himself and was apparently caught on camera while high on ecstasy. A few days later, Diddy and James were reviewing the party videos together when Diddy allegedly told him he would keep this footage in case I ever need it. James also made claims about work hours at Bad Boy, saying he once worked 21 days without any breaks and alleging that one assistant was hospitalized for dehydration after working for 24 hours straight. He testified that Diddy's security team used to have a saying, "Do you know what rhymes with tired? Fired." Later in his testimony, James addressed Diddy's rivalry with Suge Knight, claiming that his boss had 3 handguns on his lap when he allegedly ordered James and other members of his team to confront Knight. "I was really shook up by it," he told the court. "My life was in danger." James further claimed that Diddy once told him to file a police report about his former personal chef, Jordan Atkinson, after she and Diddy had a physical altercation. Diddy allegedly told James to say Atkinson hit Diddy first, but James said he didn't want to make a false report, and so drove around for an hour before returning to Diddy's house and lying to him about filing the report. After James finished, Cassie's mother, Regina Ventura, took the stand and claimed she once took out a $20,000 home equity loan to pay off Diddy after he threatened to release sexually explicit videos of Cassie. She said he returned the money after 4 or 5 days. The prosecution then called Sheree Hayes, a male escort who claimed he was hired by Diddy and Cassie for up to a dozen freak-offs dating back to 2012. He alleged that the events could last for multiple days and would usually start around 2 or 3 a.m. The day ended with testimony from DHS Special Agent Gerard Gannon, who was in charge of overall planning for the March 2024 raid of Diddy's home on Miami Beach's Star Island. Gannon noted that between 80 and 90 officers participated in the raid because of the size of the property. His team found sex toys, lingerie, and bottles of baby oil and lubricant, as well as parts of AR-15 rifles with defaced serial numbers. US confirmed that Cootie has been called to testify against Diddy later in the week following Cassie's past testimony about their romance. May 21. Gannon resumed his testimony with further description of the items found in Diddy's home, displaying a pair of red platform heels found in the mogul's closet. He noted that agents found more than a dozen other pairs of platform heels in the closet. Investigators also discovered a Gucci bag with traces of ketamine and cocaine on it that contained a small bag of cocaine, a bag of pink MDMA tablets, and another bag of orange MDMA tablets with the Tesla logo stamped on them. Prosecutors showed the jury photographs from the raid that showed boxes full of baby oil and lubricant in closets, and Gannon displayed 2 evidence bags containing 31 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. He said those were not all the bottles found on the estate. Investigators also found a .45 caliber handgun and several rounds in a suitcase. The second witness of the day was Dawn Hughes, a forensic psychologist who will serve as a blind expert on the topic of why people stay in abusive relationships. Speaking about Cassie's testimony, where she admitted she used drugs to dissociate while dating Diddy, Hughes told the court that it's common for people in abusive relationships to use substances to cope with anxiety and trauma. She also said that an abuser's wealth, access, and privilege can affect if and when a victim decides to come forward. Fear is a very debilitating emotion, she said. The day finished with testimony from George Kaplan, a former executive assistant of Diddy's who worked for him from late 2013 to late 2015. Kaplan claimed that Diddy threatened to fire him at least monthly, the first time during his first week on the job when Kaplan brought him 2 half-gallon bottles of water instead of the gallon bottle he requested. He went on to claim that part of his job was setting up hotel rooms for freak-offs, alleging that he would also clean them afterward. Part of the setup allegedly entailed couriering drugs that Diddy asked for. Kaplan also claimed he picked up MDMA for his boss.